Greetings, I'm Christy Hemingway. Today I want to have a conversation with you about starting bees in top bar hives. There's two ends to this spectrum. In New England we've had some really cold weather, and we've had some people get their bees, hive them in their top bar hive, and have them literally fall to the floor in a heap and stay there and die. Why is that happening? Well, you have to understand a little bit about bee biology. The first thing is that below 50 degrees, bees don't move well. They barely move at all. They want to be clustered and hanging on in a clump. But when you go out and you dump them loose in the box, pour them into the hive, now that cluster is broken, and if they are too cold to get themselves back into that cluster, then you lose them. They literally just lay there in a heap, and while they might move around a little bit, they can't get back into the cluster, which is important for them to stay alive. So, if you've got crummy weather and you need to hive bees, the thing to start with is warm bees. Take your bees in your house. Put down some newspaper on the kitchen table or whatever. Park your bees there in the middle of what temperature is comfortable for you. And then have your hive all ready to go. Get your bees, hive them quickly, put the lid on, leave them alone. They need to be able to climb up and cluster. If you don't see your bees clustering, then they are too cold and you are in trouble. Alright? Warm bees can go in a cold box. It can be snowing out, but they got to be warm when you start to hive them. So be sure that they aren't sitting around somewhere in a 40-degree garage and then you try to get them to go into the hive. Alright, so that's one end of the spectrum. That's the cold side. Now we've got to talk about something that I'm getting some phone calls on, where your bees go on walkabout. You get them in the hive, they seem to be doing fine, they're there 2, 3, 4, 5 days, and then you go out to the hive and you look in and there's no bees. Now that's probably not colony collapse disorder in this case. There's no wax built in the box, the queen cage is empty, she got out, boom, they took off. Why do they do that? Well, we don't know. They do it out of all kinds of beekeeping equipment, but since top bar hives are near and dear to my heart, that's why we're going to talk about what we're about to talk about. In an empty top bar hive, there isn't a whole lot that smells like bees. My first year, of course, I started in that same position and I lost 3 packages of bees right off the bat. It can happen. The resources that you don't have then, I have now, and they look like this. You guys see me handling top bar hive in all my little videos, or top bar comb, and this is a fantastic resource. It smells like beeswax to them. It is beeswax. It's the real deal. They like to live on this stuff. So I, having put a couple years into this, have got this to set inside hives and give them something to start on. By the time the queen gets out, they're all happy and they take off pretty quickly. You guys don't have this. So here's what you do instead, alright? Take your top bar, get yourself some beeswax. You can buy this at a craft store. Jo-Ann Fabrics, A.C. Moore, Michael's Crafts, Ben Franklin Crafts, all of those kinds of places tend to sell beeswax. Beekeepers often have it. Beekeeping suppliers will have it. Somebody who sells beeswax for making candles will definitely have beeswax. So anything that you can do to get what looks like a reasonably good source of beeswax, because of course we would love for it to all be chemical free, carefully melt it. Do be careful because it catches on fire fairly easy. Paint it onto the wood of your top bars, right down the point where you want the bees to build. Now, do bees need this? No. Bees will build inside your soffit and fascia with no wax there at all. They will build inside a chimney, for that matter. I've pulled bees out of chimneys. No wax was painted there, I can tell you. But we're going to do everything we can to give them a head start here. So heat the beeswax, paint it on, let it sink into the wood. It doesn't seem to be very helpful to just rub it. Some people have tried that. I haven't heard good reports on that. Melt it, let it soak into the wood. So that's another good thing. Here's taking that one step further. If you're buying bees from me, you're going to get a little chunk of natural beeswax. One of these that I've cut up and chunked out for people to use. It's just exactly that, a piece of honeycomb used by bees. Take your top bar, take your piece of honeycomb, find a way to attach it so that it hangs down from the bar just as if they had drawn it there. You can use a number of things to do it. String is a good one. Yarn would work. Green florist wire is what I have on hand to do it. You can't cut through the honeycomb. You have to be careful about how tight you pull on it, but just attach it so that it's sitting below the bar. The bees will probably attach it and use it later on in the process, but you want that smell in your box. Another smell that bees like, lemon. So I've heard everything from using lemon Pledge furniture polish and spraying that inside a hive to lemongrass essential oil. I come down a little more on the side of lemongrass essential oil since it's supposed to be a little more natural than something that comes out of an aerosol can. Another thing that you get if you're buying bees from me, and that'll be this weekend, is a cotton ball with some of this dropped on it. You can take and put the cotton ball on the bottom of your hive. You could take and squeeze the lemongrass essential oil onto the sides of the hive, something to add the scent of lemon to the inside of your hive. So, make it smell like wax. Hello, Bumble. Make it smell like bees, make it smell like wax. Make it smell like lemongrass. Give them every opportunity that you can come up with to make them feel at home and let them get a good start. I hope that the weather holds. We've had some really crazy weather this year, and everyone I know is excited and hopeful, and I want everybody to do great. So do everything you can. Warm enough bees, lemongrass, beeswax. We'll make it work. Thanks for listening.